So this is me, Mark Kizzy, and John Lorenz's RPG game, and it's called Island Survival. And basically, you just try to survive on an island for 2 days. So we're gonna run through this to kind of show you what it's about. All right. So you wake up on an island. What's the first thing you do? You could either explore the island or search for food. So we're gonna explore the island. And then you find a backpack with a knife, a jar, and matches, and you see fish swimming in the ocean. And then you decide to try to catch a fish, and you're asked how to do this, and you just have a list of the items that you could use to do this. And we're gonna use a knife. And you catch two fish, you have enough energy to build a raft, build a shelter, or make weapons. And let's build a shelter. And this image pops up with an input box that's asking you where would you like to build a shelter, and choose a number based on the map. And we have some numbers over here, and we're gonna choose number 3 because that looks like a good spot to build shelter. So picked a great spot for a shelter, and you make it through to the next day. Suddenly you see a bear come wandering out of the forest, and you have enough energy to run to your shelter and hide before the bear could catch you. And then you have this thing that pops up here, and it says you see a plane overhead. What do you do? And you have 3 options, and let's send up a smoke signal. And congratulations, you have survived 2 full days on a desert island, so we won the game. And now John is going to tour the code with you guys.
Okay, so for our code, we had a list of requirements that we had to fulfill. So we tried to do that to the best of our ability. So at the beginning here, we just have a menu function, which prompts you. So the first part, it was asking you to wake up on an island was the first thing you do. And then you have all of your options listed next to it. And then depending on what you choose, it assigns choice as the variable, like an integer number for that option. And then it stores that in your workspace. And it uses those saved variables later on to like determine of the outcome of the game, basically. So besides the menu function, we used a variety of other functions. So here we had an if-else statement at the beginning where if choice equals the first option, then it displays you find a backpack with a knife, and otherwise it displays you find banana and nuts. Here we had just an if statement, because this entire section only applies if your choice was, the first choice you made was equal to 1, and otherwise it skips the entire section. So if choice was equal to 1, then it asks you this if else function, if else if function, sorry. And so yeah, that so within this if-else-if function, we use the return function, where if you make the wrong choice and you die, the return function prevents the rest of the code from running. So here, if you try to use the jar to catch the fish, which is choice 1, you catch nothing, you die of hunger, and then return, which stops the rest of the code from running so that you know that you're dead. So here we use more if function, if statements. Here we used a compound condition for or, where if C was equal to 1 or it was equal to 3, then it prints great spot for a shelter. But if it was neither of them, then, or if it was just 2, then it prints arg. And if C was equal to 4, then it says you built a shelter too close to a swamp full of alligators. So that was one of our requirements. Down here we have a nested if statement, where if choice 3 equals 3, and then if raft equals 1, because it's only if 1 is true. Like, so if choice 3 equals 3, then you go to raft, and if choice 3 doesn't equal 3, then it ignores the raft part and goes on to the next part. Here we had another if-else if function, and then at the bottom we used a switch statement, which was one of our other requirements. So, and then to add to our code to make it more interesting, we added an image, which you saw earlier. It was this image of an island right here. And to do that, we imported the file into the same folder. So we have island.png, and then we assigned that to the variable img, and then we use imshow img, which brings up a picture of the island so you can see it. And that is the basics of our code. And we hope you enjoyed the video.